Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Good evening. Oh, loads of people here already. Good evening. YouTube actually pushed my stream out to people. It's a first. Hello. Yeah, hello, hello. Normally I'm sat here by myself for like 5 minutes and like then YouTube decides like, okay, then we'll tell some people he's gone live. So I guess that's cool. Good evening. Salute to you, Sanguinary. Hello. I'm just grabbing some paints. A few different models I'm working on at the moment. Should be enough to get going. Who's going to the LGT at the end of the month? Evening Mike, evening Jamie, evening Eric. How are you guys? Thoughts on the points changes? I mean, there's like one, right? It's like the Sanguinary Guard. I mean, I'll probably do a tactics video on that this week, right? But as far as I'm aware, it's the Sanguinary Guard. Nothing else has really changed, has it? Oh, Blade Guard? Well, Blade Guard, I mean, we probably thought they were too strong at 160 for 6, right? I don't think 10 points changes anything for them. They're still very strong. I'd still totally use them. I'd still totally use Sanguinary Guard. I think probably what's interesting with Sanguinary Guard is that they don't really need Dante anymore, right? Because you don't need +1 to hit when they already got weapon skill 2 up. So do you just take cheap captains now in the Sanguinary Guard? There's definitely a maths video needing done about the new Sanguinary Guard. I feel like that's what I'm doing this week. The helmet looks too big? Yeah, I know it's too big. The helmet's way too big on this model. I just didn't want to paint his face, and it's an ancient model. It's like ancient-y fine cast nonsense. I probably had a helmet I could have used from like a Palatine Enforcer helmet. That would have probably been the right size. I don't know if I bought the Palatine Enforcers afterwards, because I actually have converted the Palatine Enforcers from Necromunda. They're my scouts. Or at least a couple of squads of my scouts are converted Palatine Enforcers, right? They basically have like almost what you would describe as like ice hockey armor on, do you think? Something like that. Oh, my shoulder is sore as fuck today, man. Do you think they're better with a captain now? Well, I mean, I think they would be better with a captain, right? I mean, I'm not even going to consider running Dante, because the captain on the charge puts them at strength 7. And I think that's a really meaningful breakpoint, especially if you've got lands, right? Because if you've got a captain leading your Sanguinary Guard, now you never need to use Red Rampage on them. That's kind of huge. But I'll dive into the maths this week. I think it's pretty huge, but I haven't made any slides. I haven't done any maths around it yet. A bit of a strange one, the balance data slate coming out on Friday. I mean, Games Workshop said that they didn't fully intend to release it on Friday, so I mean, I don't, like, I have pre-produced content already going out on Friday. I don't have time to make something else on a Friday. What do we think about the Ballistus going up to 150? That's a tough one, actually, because, like, I already kind of feel like I prefer Predator tanks to the Ballistus Dreadnought. I mean, the advantage of the Ballistus Dreadnought is you get to reroll some hits. I mean, so I've played one Predator tank and 2 Ballistus, and I've played 2 Predator tanks and 1 Ballistus, and I preferred playing it when I had 2 Predator tanks. So now that Predator tanks are cheaper, I feel like I would probably just say I don't know if the Ballistus... I mean, the Ballistus gets picked a lot. It's maybe very good with Ultramarines, right? Because in Ultramarines you get, like, your +1 to wound. But for Blood Angels, like, Ballistus is used to be 130. I don't know if I feel they're justified at 150. I mean, you could probably still run them, but, like, for some reason they're definitely edging them. Are they that powerful? Are Ballistus Dreadnoughts that good? It was planned for Wednesday the 17th, the date is late. Yeah, so, well, I mean, I would have been ready to cover it probably on Wednesday, actually, because I wasn't planning on doing a live game this Wednesday. I'll get back to live games next week. So, that's annoying. If it had come out on the right day, I would have been ready to go live that evening. But this is fine. I think that there's definitely a video to be made about the Sanguinary Guard in terms of who you actually need to lead them, and also, are spears just going to be... I think spears are going to be an interesting choice now. I think before spears were dog shit, but now they actually could be an interesting choice. I need to double check the wording. Like, if you give somebody... Like, do you have to give the entire unit spears, or can you mix and match? I think it's probably something like all models will have to replace their blades with spears, right? But spears were dog shit before, and now I think they're probably... I feel like they're probably definitely playable now. They might even be good. I don't agree that Dante's Battle Shock is meaningful, because you can't plan around it. If you could plan, like, Dante's Battle Shock would be better if it was like once a game you auto Battle Shock the enemies. But the fact that you can't plan it means that I think it's worthless. Because I need to know before I'm charging if I'm going to take that objective. Because if I'm not going to take the objective, why am I going to make the charge, right? And I think that's the problem with Dante for me anyway. It's like, if his Battle Shock aura goes off, I'll take the objective. Well, that doesn't work for me, because I don't want to make the charge if I'm not taking the objective. So I really dislike Dante this edition. I dislike he doesn't give us a command point. I dislike his Battle Shock aura, and I guess now that Sanguinary Guard hit on 2s anyway, I guess I dislike his +1 to hit. So Dante's got 4 rules, and I dislike 3 of them. And I played Dante a lot this edition, right? I mean, I even played Dante when I won the GT, so I mean, make of that what you will. I was playing him when I won the 32-player GT I won this edition. But yeah, I just dislike him. I'm not a fan anymore. Plus he's expensive, man. He's so expensive. Maybe if he had 7 wounds, I could justify his cost, but the fact that he's only 6, it's like 2-3 damage weapons, he's dead. 3-2 damage weapons, he's dead. He just dies so fucking fast. I really dislike him. Playing for a Battle Shock is like planning to roll a 6 on the D6 for damage. Yeah, I mean, that's my point. You can't play around it, Jason. Or you can't play expecting it to be reliable. So if you can't play something expecting it to be reliable, how do you even play it? I don't want to shit on your idea, Eric, but I can't get on board with Dante this edition. And I'm playing Angelic Inheritors, and there's other arguments why captains are better in Angelic Inheritors anyway than Dante. So even more so now, right? Like captains in Angelic Inheritors are going to be just way more cost effective with the Sanguinary Guard hitting on 2s. A captain leading Sanguinary Guard it's going to be absolutely fine. You're not going to need Dante, I feel like. And then, of course, if it's led by the captain, you're going to get rapid ingress for free and stuff like that as well. So, what would Dante even bring at that point? I mean, he brings a bunch of attacks, but, like, that's it. You're paying 40 points for, like, 3 extra attacks. And I think, yeah, sure, he's got 1 more AP when he's attacking than a Power Fist captain. It just doesn't feel like enough for me. Hello, Brayden. I actually had Dante in my last Angelic Inheritors list. The last tournament I went to with Angelic Inheritors, I had Dante. And I came up against a Knights player. And Dante is just not good in that detachment leading Sanguinary Guard into Knights, because you're only strength 6. And it just means that you just don't wound Knights nearly reliably enough. And that was sort of like one of the catalysts that sort of put me off of him, where I was like, oh my god, he's just not good against Knights in this detachment. And he's expensive. And he's not really any more survivable than a captain. And he doesn't have a free CP like the captain. It just keeps adding up, right? Like, it's just negative thing after negative thing. Yeah, I think the captain plus the Sanguinary Guard is just very good now. My list unfortunately went up 35 points. So I need to figure out how to get rid of 35 points, which is really frustrating because I finally just got a list together where I feel like I'm winning every week again. I've won 4 times in a row with this Angelic Inheritors list. This might be the best win rate for any Angelic Inheritors list I've ever made, and then of course they come out and change some of the points and it doesn't work anymore. So I got to figure that out. A little bit frustrating, but happens to the best of us, I guess, right? I win night games by being wounded on 5s. What do you mean by being wounded on 5s? I mean, if you kill knights when you're only wounding them on 5s, you're getting lucky, right? Are you switching Courtiers and a Vindicator for a Hammer Strike and another Apothecary? No. I'm not I think I need the 2 Vindicator tanks. The amount of times that I whiff with 1 Vindicator tank, I 100% feel like I need 2 Vindicator tanks in my Angelic Inheritors list. Greetings, Cambo. How you doing? Yeah, well, I've got to do the same thing. I had 9 Sanguinary Guard in my list. My list was actually 5 points under, so I've got to find 30 points. I was kind of hoping something else might go down and average things out, but no. Cotias has been really valuable, dude. Like, really, really valuable. Like, just this week, he was, like, super valuable against the Deathwing. Not the Deathwing. Against the Inner Circle Companions, he was crazy valuable. Yeah, I mean, he is a little bit expensive, but, like, he definitely works. He synergizes with my list well. Like, really well. Because I got, like, 15 plasmas. No, 16 plasmas at AP3 and 2 Vindicator tanks at AP3. So he just really keeps that AP high all the time, which really helps. I've played 4 games with him, and his CP rules actually only come up once. So I've only actually gained 2 CP from him, having him in 4 games, but I think he just works with my list. I like the bird. Sure. This old bird looks terrible, by the way, but is what it is, I guess. So I stream every Saturday night, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Not every Saturday, but most Saturdays, painting away. Blood Angels, just chatting shit. So this is if you want to hang out any Saturday night, you're welcome. Get your painting table ready. It's usually about the same time. We're usually live for about 2 hours. We'll just be painting. We'll just be chatting shit. We'll maybe talk some Blood Angels, but we'll definitely talk about some random ass stuff as well. Unfortunately, in 10, 30, 40 points is kind of hard to play with. Yeah, I think my option has to be... I had a unit of jump intercessors, so I think I have to drop them, and then I think I'm left with 60 points. There's not a whole lot I can do with 60 points. Like somebody said, I could do a Tech Marine, I could do an Invader ATV. I would have done another unit of Scouts if I can, but I can't. I don't really feel like I need an Invader ATV. I've got nothing a chaplain could attach to. Do I have anything a chaplain can attach to? Yeah, I don't think I've got anything a chaplain can attach to. Ironically, if I do drop the jump intercessors, I could attach a second apothecary to the other squad of hellblasters, but I really wanted a unit that was a scoring unit that could be in reserve. That was kind of how I was playing the jump intercessors, just as a reserve-based unit. If I was going to use the Invader ATV, man, I'd probably just proxy one of my attack bikes, because I've got 3 of them fully painted. And they're all on bases. And I actually think Andrew printed me the right size base for the Invader ATV. He made me like a square base. Fuck knows where I put it. But I've got one. So I could stick my attack bike onto the square base, and then I think that's what I would do. Bring back the Lone Blade Guard Ancient. I did think about that as well. I mean, a single Blade Guard Ancient, he's pretty easy to sneak in, and he does usually score some points. Engaging all fronts, behind enemy lines, you know, that sort of good stuff. I did think about bringing back the 45-point Blade Guard Ancient. A lone operative Tech Marine might not be the worst idea as well. I mean, I do have 2 Vindicator tanks. I do always manage to miss a bunch of shots with the Vindicator tanks, so +1 to hit and repairing them also. And do you know what? I like the Tech Marine in Angelic Inheritors once the vehicle has been destroyed. Because once the vehicle has been destroyed, he's going on like 8 or 9 attacks, I think it is. Must be 8. I think he's getting 8 attacks. And obviously rerolling ones to hit and wound. For 55 points, he actually becomes pretty killy. Reavers, I don't think I've got the points for... I've got 60 points if I drop my jump intercessors. That's my option. Like, I don't know what I can really do with 60 points, but that's what I've got. But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be a situation where it's worth trying Sanguinary Guard with spears. Is the 40k app updated in iOS? It isn't here in the UK. Because I searched yesterday after they announced on Warhammer Community, and I am on an iPhone, and my app hasn't updated. So I don't have like the new rules in my app yet. I assume that'll be coming next week based on the fact they accidentally released some stuff early, right? My last list went up because I had 6 Sanguinary Guard and 12 Blade Guard. Well, I mean, there was a few lists that were running like 18 Blade Guard and like 30 Jump Assault Intercessors, and those lists were doing very well. So, I mean, those lists were pretty much targeted for nerfs, right? Or both those units were targeted for nerfs, so if you were one of the people running all that, then I guess you've gone up 50, 60, maybe even 7. Well, yeah, at least 60 points, I would have thought. I did think of dropping a unit of Hellblasters for a unit of Incursors, because that does get me the 30 points I need. But my Hellblasters have just been so damn useful these last couple of weeks. Like, I really, really like the Hellblasters and Angelic Inheritors. It just gives me like an extra bit of punch at range, and also the shooting back on death. I really, really like that as well. Sometimes you just get insane value out of that shoot on death. Like, sometimes you get nothing out of it, but sometimes it does feel like you just get insane value from it. Like, if 2 or 3 of your guys shoot, you can sometimes, like, shoot back half the unit that just shot you, you know? I think when I was playing against Death Guard, I want to say I killed, like, 5 Plague Marines with shoot back on death. It was, like, properly good. Because, I mean, the Death Shroud, not the Death Shroud, the Plague Marines are going to kill me anyway, right? So just having half my squad shoot back on death and like trimming down half the squad of Plague Marines, especially before they get to Overwatch and all that stuff, is so good. Can you add agents to Coteas as a bodyguard and screen? Oh, you mean to try and make the intercessors cheaper? I don't think there's an agents unit that's cheap enough that would save me 30 points. And yeah, I don't want to really drop an impulsor either, because I like having 2 impulsors to roll onto objectives early in the game. I feel like if you've got 2 you're always going to lose 1 impulsor in turn 1. But that's fine, I feel like. If you've got another impulsor on another objective, it feels pretty safe. I think I have to lose the jump intercessors, and if I want a unit that does the same thing, which is like comes in from reserve and maybe scores some points, I think it probably has to be the buggy. The buggy at least moves 12 inches. When it comes in, it's got a multi-melta. What about jump ints for a damage roll? What do you mean? You mean like using the jump intercessors as a damaging unit? Not an Angelic Inheritors, right? I mean, I think probably just their crappy low strength prevents them from doing that in Angelic Inheritors to a certain degree. Sanguinary Guard are confirmed as a 2-up to hit. Let's see someone asking if Sanguinary Guard. It's confirmed. Yeah, Dante is now essentially 120 points for +1 to advance and charge. So you and 3 more attacks than a captain, and 1 more EP than a captain. I think realistically, you don't like. I I already wasn't running Dante in my Angelic Inheritors because I just didn't think he's good enough in that detachment. I think realistically, like, I just probably, even more so now, wouldn't run him in Angelic Inheritors. I'm still running Dante in Lag. I mean, you've got an advance and charge strat in Lag. So +1 to advance and charge is not the worst thing in the world. It's actually pretty strong. But, no, I can totally see why people would be thinking Dante is Dante was already a bit average, so this doesn't help him much. I mean, it's a great change for the Sanguinary Guard, right? Like, a really good change. And even if you think about, like, because this was what I was thinking about, right? Let's take Death Shroud. Death Shroud Terminators. If you're fighting them before, let's say you were fighting them with swords, led by a captain, it was like you'd be hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, so there's a 77% chance to hit. Then you'd be wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s, so 58% chance to wound. Now, hitting on 2s means you increase your hit chance from 77 to 97. You increase your wound chance from, I think it's 58 to 77. So Sanguinary Guard into Death Shroud in Angelic Inheritors, assuming you're led by a character, hit chance is now 20% better, wound chance is now 20% better, and if I'm correct, the save is exactly the same. Well, Dante hits hard as long as you don't fight enemies that have -1 damage, and then he doesn't hit hard at all. It's a shame that they didn't exchange his +1 to hit with the Rites of Battle rule. So I was thinking about this, right? Because I feel like I'm one of the most critical people ever when it comes to, like, Blood Angels not getting the rules that I feel they should get. And I don't necessarily want to be super critical or an asshole about it. But I mean, I could definitely feel like there could have been times where I've come across as an asshole about, like, how dare we not get these rules, or why are we not getting these rules, we should get these rules, sort of thing, right? And I was thinking about this, like, Games Workshop obviously know that giving Sanguinary Guard +1 to hit makes Dante's buffs much worse, right? Like they can't not know that. It's their game. You could argue that, like, maybe they're not fully in touch with every faction, but I feel like they've got to know that, right? Like, somebody at Games Workshop knows that. But then, because they're trying to constantly balance the game, I kind of was wondering, like, is this just a change they've made, like, in isolation? And I guess what I mean by that is, like, they've made this change. They know, for example, that Dante's rules are not that super strong anymore, or they know that Dante is going to be negatively affected, right, by this change potentially, or, like, he loses some of his strength from this change. But, like, are they just like, well, we know it's not great for Dante, but what we need to do is make this one change first, because then we don't want suddenly the Sanguinary Guard and Dante taking over the meta, because that's like 2 giant changes, right? So I was thinking, like, is it maybe they just want to make this one change and see how it plays out a little bit? Because, like, maybe that would have been a step too far to change both things, right? So they just make the one change and be like, right, let's see what happens to the Sanguinary Guard. You know, like, this one change might push Sanguinary Guard over the edge. You might see everybody running 18 of them. You might see people dominating tournaments with 18 of them. If they change Dante as well, it might be a step too far, right? So yeah, right now Dante is not great, but I think maybe it might be a change. And I think, like, maybe that's something that I need to remember as well in the future. Like, sometimes the smallest changes can make big differences. So maybe that's what this is, right? It's a very small change, but it could have a big potential impact, right? But yeah, I would love it if he gave CP. If he gave 1 CP, I think that would be more useful than the battle shock nonsense that he has. I think you give too much credit to Games Workshop. I don't know, man. They're pretty smart. I mean, go look at how much money they made in the last quarter, right? Like, they're making hundreds of millions of, and it's not even turnover, right? It's like profit. Games Workshop 2025 quarter one profit. Let's see what it says. The quarter one profit.
Here's what I found.
Nope, Siri's going to tell me. No, it's not. They made a pre-tax profit of 262 million. So they're making $250 million profit a year. So yeah, we can all sit here with our tinfoil hats on, like Valrak, and be like, they don't know what they're doing. But like, if someone said to me, you can have $250 million profit for the last quarter, yeah, I mean, you can tell me I'm the stupidest person alive, but I would trade that for that money in a second, right? Wouldn't you? So I think, like, I know that the consensus is like Games Workshop aren't on the ball, but they fucking are. They know exactly what they're doing, man. Like, you don't make $250 million profit in a year if you're just like, if you're just all over the place. It's pretty hard. Like, I've been grinding on this YouTube channel to make money, it's pretty hard, man. I mean, it's they're killing it when it comes to the business side of stuff, right? Dude, I know. Well, I don't know some of the people on the balance team personally, but I've watched enough videos with those guys in it that the people that are doing the balance, they're pretty switched on people, right? They're pretty clever people. The three I can think of is like the Nick guy, Josh, I think, and then there's one other. I can't remember the guy who's actually the head of 40k, because he used to be on that Meta Watch with Nick quite often. I think those guys are really fucking smart, honestly. I think they're on it. Like, sometimes us, the community, think small changes won't affect things, and then the smallest changes make big differences, right? Dude, they make so many sales in their retail shops, Robert. If their retail shops weren't popular, Robert, they wouldn't still be there on the high street. They'd close them. People buy from the GW retail shops on the high streets because the level of service they get in those shops is very good, right? Like, if you walk into one of those retail shops, like the one closest to me is the Aberdeen store. And like, when you walk into that retail shop, it doesn't matter if it's your first time in there or your 100th time in there. Usually, and maybe the Aberdeen store is Enigma, but the people in the staff in the Aberdeen store are super friendly, right? Like, they ask, they'll point you in the right direction. They'll ask you about the hobby. They'll give you tips, advice. They're just genuinely very friendly in there. And like, I feel like I've bought stuff from their retail store full well knowing I'm paying 20% more, just because there's a good level of service in those shops. Like, and I mean, you could argue that, like, if you go out to dinner, right, a 20% tip is probably not unreasonable these days. If you leave like much less than like 15%, the waitresses and the staff get pissed, man, right? So like, if you get good service, it is common to pay like 20% more, right? Like, that's a thing. That's a thing, I guess. So yeah, if you get really good service in the GW shop, I've seen myself buy stuff that maybe I wasn't going to buy because I know I'm paying more for it, just because I had really good service. Aberdeen has the most millionaires per capita in the UK. Yeah, that's because everybody up in Aberdeen works in oil and gas, man. I don't work in oil and gas. But yeah, I mean, maybe the Aberdeen store is an enigma, but the Aberdeen store is generally a very nice place to go. The guys in there are always super nice when you walk in. They're always helpful. I knew a couple of them by name just because obviously if it's my local store, I'm in there now and again to get paints and stuff. And yeah, I mean, there is also something to be said about like having a product, like impulse purchasing, right? Like that's a thing. So you walk into the store, you see something that you really wanted, and you're like, yeah, I can have it right this second. Yeah, okay, I'll pay 20% more. I mean, 20% is a lot, but realistically, like, let's say you're buying an individual character model. 20% is like, what, $4 or $5? Have you ever, you know, like, if you ever saw something on Amazon that's like $15, but you've been walking home and you've seen it in the window of a store for like $20, and you haven't just gone like, well, I can have it right this second, I'll just buy it now rather than wait a couple of days to get it from Amazon? I feel like I have. Hello, Phil. Good evening. The level of service at GW stores here, the guy has been an absolute nightmare. Well, I mean, everywhere you go, man, you're going to have bad experiences, you know. But you can, you know, I think, I want to say in general, my experience of the GW stores, like if I go to a new city I've never been to and it's got a GW store, I will go to that store, right? Just to check out and stuff, and like genuinely you will, you know, genuinely I feel like the level of service at GW stores is good. Hello, good morning, Speargrass, how are you? Service in local gaming stores can be excellent as well. Well, I'm not debating that. I'm just telling you that, like, sometimes, especially, like, some people do, I don't know. I feel like for the longest time, I never went to the local gaming store. I always just went to GW because I knew GW, and I knew I had a good level of service there, and I feel like the people and the staff in the GW shop were nice to me, so I just always went back, right? Is that a Sternguard sergeant? I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he's a converted Sternguard from the easy to build set, right? That came with, oh, what was this edition's? Dark Leviathan. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a Leviathan body. Obviously, that's a Firstborn Blood Angel's head. This is a 3D printed Power Fist. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, he is a Sternguard, yeah? I visit GW stores once a year when I venture into Glasgow. I like the store in Glasgow, man, and I know that store. It's actually quite a small store, the store in Glasgow, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, they've got a lot. They do have a large number of retail stores all across the country, and for the most part, I feel like you walk into any of those stores, you will be met with a friendly face, and I think that probably is one of the reasons that it's just growing. And I mean, they're opening stores everywhere, right? Like they just opened Japan or something. GW should probably give Astraff to the Sanguinary Guard units. Yeah, I mean, Astrath isn't really part of the Death Company, so I don't see why he couldn't. Lore-wise, it feels like he could go with the Sanguinary Guard. Nicholas, thanks for stopping by. I hope your assignment goes well. Rambo says he hopes that Dante gets sustained hits next update. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be a better buff for Dante. Just give him units that he's leading get sustained 1. Yeah, good idea. Love it. I mean, I feel like a lot of places have had to downsize since like COVID and cost of living, and honestly, the UK is a bit of a mess at the moment. I don't want to get into politics on the channel in any way, shape, or form, but like the UK is just a mess of taxes, and it's just a mess. Dante's rules do need to change. Yeah, I think they might change them, but I think they probably need to give it a month or two and see see how Sanguinary Guard dominate the battlefield with. Like, it's a pretty big buff to give them an extra attack on the lance and an extra +1 to hit, right? Yeah, that's what I was going to do this week. I was going to do a video about +1... Sorry, I was going to do a video about the Sanguinary Guard swords and spears, because I don't know if you guys have been watching my channel, but I've been working on a tool to do maths that hopefully a little bit down the line I'm going to be able to share with everybody. So up until now, excuse me, my fucking shoulder is killing me, man. Up until now, all my tactics videos have been like, I had this horrible spreadsheet I've been using, and I've been building it into a tool. And my tool's going to let me do better videos, I think, hopefully. GW do have games in stores in some places. Aberdeen has a dedicated gaming place. I suppose it just depends on the size of the GW, right? Or they're not even called GW anymore, they're just called Warhammer now, aren't they? Oh. I honestly thought this edition Dante was going to get a sweep and a sweep and a strike. You know, like sweep for 3, strike for 2 type thing. Auspex video said the new Sanguinary Guard spears have 3 AP and still 3 attacks. Well, Auspex didn't read the balance data slate, man. Because it's literally right there in the data slate. Just go to gamesworkshop.com or Warhammer Community and just, you can literally download it. It's there in the data slate. He was probably working off rumors, right? This is why you need to come to the Blood Angels Commander first before you go to Auspex, because I know my shit. It's spear. I'll show you. It's literally right there on the data slate. So you just go to Warhammer Community here, click Downloads, Warhammer 40,000, scroll down to Balance Data Slate, press Control F, type Blood for Blood Angels. There. So Spear's got +1 attack, the number in red, +1 to hit. There's no 3 and 3 in here. Wonder why they're taking so long. So I have experience with app development, right? And if you have iPhone apps, if you have an app on an iPhone that you want to update, you can't just, let's say you have a bug in an iPhone app and you fix the bug. You can't just push it live to the users. It doesn't work like that. You have to make the fix, you have to upload it to Apple, you have to submit it to a review queue, and then Apple will review it at some point in the next, I think they say like 24 to 72 hours. And there's no telling in that time when they will review it. And you cannot release it until it's been reviewed. Right? Hey Lego Man, thanks for subscribing. So if you have a bug in your iPhone app, potentially the quickest you can get that fixed is 24 hours. Because it has to be reviewed before you push it out. You can request an expedited review with Apple, but even then, like, there's no guarantee when they will review it. And you say it's a giant rigmarole with Apple. Google has changed what they are doing as well. Now, like it used to be on Google, you could just push your update out, like no questions asked. They have changed it as well. So when you submit an update to Google, it also has to be through a review queue. So like when let's say you have a video game, it's got a bug in it, you patch the bug, your development team turns the bug around in an hour, it could still take a couple of days before your users get it, and that's completely out with your control. There is nothing you can do. I think like some of the bigger companies may have a contact at Apple, like a dedicated person that they know and they can speak to at Apple. But like, so I was speaking to a YouTuber this week who's got 2 million subscribers. I was very lucky to be in a conference call with him, and he said to me that even though he has 2 million subscribers, he said like he has no way of talking to a human at YouTube. He's apparently been assigned a human, right? Because like I think when you get to like 100,000 subscribers, you're supposed to be assigned like a real human. So if you have a problem, you don't like have to go into like, the support portal where it's just like you just send a ticket into the ether and maybe you hear back, maybe you don't, sort of thing. So I'm speaking to someone who's got 2 million subscribers that's supposed to have like a human contact, and he's like, yeah, I never managed to speak to them, not once. So I think Apple is probably the same. Like maybe someone's lucky enough to be able to speak to Apple, but for the most part, like they're just so big they don't speak to anyone. You're just in the review queue and there's nothing you can do about it. You're in the queue. I understand that, but at the same time, whenever they release the new balance stuff, the app is updated on the same day. Yeah, so once Apple have reviewed it, you can release at any point. But what can happen is like, right, so you send, like, let's say you make your Games Workshop want to release their app update on the Wednesday, right? So the previous week, let's say like Wednesday the previous week, they make their final build, they send it off to Apple, Apple will review it, they get an email on Monday saying like, hey, everything's reviewed, you can put this app out at your leisure. Then let's say someone's testing it still on Tuesday night, and on Tuesday night they're like, oh shit, there's a bug here that just doesn't work, we need to hot fix it. So all of a sudden that like completely fucks you up, because it's like, right, well, we can't release it this week because it's already Tuesday night. We make a build on Wednesday, Apple takes 72 hours to review it. So it could literally be something as simple as that. It's like someone found a bug last minute and now they can't release it. So maybe that's why they put it out on the Warhammer community. Mr. Waha says, do you think this change invalidates Dante? Yeah, it's been asked 100 times. I already wasn't running him. It certainly makes him worse, doesn't it? I just can't see why I would run Dante now. I mean, I feel like you don't need him in Liberator Assault Group. Yeah, it just... I mean, proxy him as a captain? Oh yeah, and Miguel says he accidentally pushed... Oh yeah, if you mess up the version numbers as well on app development as well, there's whole other issues you can encounter with versioning numbers as well. So like... It'll just like it could have literally been the simplest little thing that was wrong was why the iOS players have not got the update, and we'll get it. It might just be next week, right? The other thing that could have easily happened is like they could have been setting up to release on Wednesday, and someone just like it's pretty easy to accidentally release an app too early as well. So someone could have just accidentally hit the button too early to release it on Android when it was meant to come out next week, right? But yeah. I think they'll watch this space for a few months, see if anything changes with the Sanguinary Guard, and then maybe Dante will get an update. But I think these changes to the Sanguinary Guard will actually make them stronger, right? So, because I think it adds flexibility to the adds flexibility to what the unit can do. Like the extra attack on the spear is meaningful. So it's like you add flexibility to what the unit can do, and you make the unit hit more reliably as well. So based on that, like I don't necessarily think that they'll need to change Dante, because I think people will do better with the Sanguinary Guard, and because people start doing better when rates will go up and stuff, and then because of that, they probably won't change Dante. That's sort of what I expect will happen. I think at this point Dante is probably going to be more relevant next edition, right? He is a new Primaris model. I feel like they haven't quite managed to get like Dante, Mephiston, and the Sanguinar's rules really correct for like other characters maybe keep more consistent rules across editions, whereas those characters, all three of them, have like massively changed every edition. You know, like last edition, Mephiston was with the unit, now he's a lone operative. Dante, I feel like Dante did something completely different last edition. I'd have to go and get my book. I mean, there was no battle shock, so that's definitely a new rule, right? So I think probably what will happen is like you just won't see too many people playing Dante for the rest of this edition, because you can just use a captain to the same extent. And then, like next edition, Dante will get like a rejig, because he's been getting a rejig pretty much every edition anyway. I mean, I think if we go back like 2 editions, the Sanguinar was like a better unit leader than Dante, right? He used to give out like an aura of +1 to hit, I think, or something, or aura of reroll hits. I can't quite remember. But the Sanguinary was like completely different in 8th edition. And I used him a lot more in 8th edition than I ever used Dante. Dante had some strong auras. Oh yeah, he had like a big type reroll ones or reroll hits captain type aura, didn't he? Oh, we've got 54 people in here tonight, and we've got 17 likes. So, 37 people. You guys need to hit the like button. Come on, you can do it. It's one button, one click. Wasn't the Sanguinary +1 aura? I've got the 8th edition codex right here. Codex Blood Angels, 8th edition. Let me move some of this shit. Like I said, they've been massively changing the characters, edition to edition. Oh, this was back when we had all of our units in the codex. Wow. Okay. I'm sure that Dante and all that will be at the start. Dante, what did he used to have? Yeah, so reroll all failed hits within 6. -1 leadership, oh yeah, from the Death Mask. Reroll failed wounds against characters. So that's completely different. D3 damage. He only does 2 now, unfortunately. The Sanguinary, his was add 1, oh, it was add 1 attack within a 6-inch aura. He had fall back and charge again. He had a death mask for -1. He had AP4 in D3. Mephiston. He still had his 5-up feel no pain. Still had a 2-up save, toughness 5. His sword was 2 times strength, so it was strength 10, it's only 9 now. Again, it was D3, AP3, so he hasn't changed too much, but he did have 2 psychic powers. So, like, remember, he could fly and stuff like that. Astaroth. Death Company auto pass morale. Reroll fail hits in the fight phase within 6. You could use Massive Doom and give a unit +1 to hit and a 4 bin Van. Lamartez, reroll failed hit rolls and charge rolls for Death Company. Use his leadership for the Death Company instead of the Death Company's. He actually had AP2, damage 3, that's the same. Executioner's Axe. Yeah, so all of our characters were like in this edition, every single one of our special characters was D3. I can't decide what's better. I mean, D2 kind of sucks. Or flat 2 kind of sucks these days with everything being AP, everything having like more than 2 wounds. But I forgot that everything was D3 though. Dante, Astaroth, Lamartus, the Sanguinary, Mephiston, they all used to have D3 damage. That's crazy. Hello, Seal Pilled. I almost finished painting my 12 Sanguinary Guard with swords. What do you think about spears? I think when you write your army list, you decide if they're swords or spears. And when you put your guys with 12 spears on the table, or 12 swords on the table, if one of the units has spears, you just tell your opponent at the start of the battle, this is the unit that has spears. Or you make one model with a spear and have him lead that second score to 6. And again, you just point to your opponent and say, you see that one that's being led by the guy with the spear? That unit has spears. I'm fucking done with Wysiwyg, dude. They change the rules too often now for me to keep up with it. So that's what I'm doing. If I'm using spears with my Sanguinary Guard, I'm gonna write it on the date. I'm gonna write it on my army list. If I've got like a 6, let's say I've got a 3-man squad with swords and a 6-man squad with spears. My 6-man squad are gonna be they're gonna have swords, right? The models on the table will have swords. I'm just gonna tell my opponent before the game that those guys have spears. Yeah, Cogger says don't change models. They'll be changed again in a year's time. They'll be they'll be changed again for 11th edition. And it, like you just make the models now, and you, worst case you print out a little bit of paper, or you just get a fucking post-it note, man, and you write on it spears, and you put it next to your unit on the table, because they'll be changed again, man. This is like, I spent so many years and so much time and money getting my guys Wysiwyg, and it's like they change every fucking year, man. I can't keep up. I'm done trying to keep up. I don't mean to be super bitter about it, but I am. I'm done trying to keep up. Well, I have a bunch of my Sanguinary Guard magnetized so I can pull their arms off, but do you know what? Ironically, I've got them magnetized with weapon options they can't take anymore, like Power Fists. So, they're unlikely to change the kit again for a little while, but they might, like 5 years down the line, they might change that Sanguinary Guard kit again. Now Sanguinary Guard can have Power Fists, and you ripped off all the arms to try and make spears, man. Feels bad. Like, I feel like every week I go to a game or something and my opponent will tell me, like, hey, I'm proxying this repulsor as a repulsor executioner. I'm like, cool, fine, no problem. Unless you're at, like, an official friggin' GW event, I don't think you have to care. But yeah, I'm done caring. I've tried too many times to keep up. Maybe that's like a young man's... maybe that's something that new people in the hobby will do, or... Yeah, I have a bunch of Sanguinary Guard with axes as well. Dude, I just would not try and Wysiwyg them. I think at this point, when it's literally an A or B choice, if you've written it on your army list and you make it clear to your opponent at the start of the game, nobody cares. People just want to have a fun, good game. If you're playing in a tournament where someone is going to be difficult about the weapon options you have, then they're probably playing at a level that, like, they're just playing at a competitive level that, like, I do not care to get into. That, like, that's just getting... It's just one step too far for me. Do you know what? They added the Power Axe to Space Marine 2, man. It's pretty fucking cool. I don't know if you've played it. I've been playing the Reaver class. I think you call it it's basically a Reaver because it's got that Reaver skull helm. But I think in Space Marine 2 they maybe call it like Vanguard or something. The class names in that game just don't quite match like the tabletop. But you can have a Power Axe now in Space Marine 2. Oh, dude, I've got a bunch of the new Sanguinary Guard. They're all in their sprue. I haven't been arsed to do it either. I just got done making 30 of the old version. So I've only made one of the new I bought the Combat Patrol. I've made one guy out of it. I like the Pyroblaster in Space Marine 2. I haven't seen that yet. I really like it's funny because the gun that I've got on my Reaver is called like an Oculus bolt rifle. And on the tabletop, the Oculus bolt rifle is a piece of shit. But in that Space Marine 2 game, it's fucking great. Love it. I've been really enjoying playing the Reaver. Power Axe, Oculus bolt rifle, and then even the bolt pistol feels satisfying in that game, which is pretty cool. I use those little stickers you give to kids to demonstrate weapon options. Oh yeah, some people do that as well. They'll put like a tiny little like a tiny little sticker, sort of the size of this guy's like the palm of his like the palm of his hand, like a tiny little sticker on their base that'll be like representative of what weapon option he's got. That's another option if you really need to go into it. Good point. Who made that point? Miguel. Thanks, Miguel. I forgot. I've seen Andrew used to do that a lot. I've never actually done that myself. God damn it, I got something in my eye. Maybe it's just tiredness. Kids woke me up at like 6 a.m. today. 6 a.m. on a Saturday. Who wants to get up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday? Seriously. I need to show my kids how to turn on Disney Plus in the morning. The Sanguinary Guard skin is coming to the Assault class in Space Marine 2. Well, I don't like the Assault class. I like the Reaver, man. So that's annoying. Kids do that. Yeah, they're little terrors from another dimension, aren't they? Or little sadists. Bearded Coyote says, I did go to a football game. Which football game? And when you say football, you mean NFL, right? Did the Sandguard get a buff? Yeah. They hit on 2s now. It's on the Warhammer website, right? Hello, Mark. I think it was a buff. I think it helped. I think it increases their damage output in some situations pretty significantly. College football, I see. People always say college football is better than NFL. As an idiot from the other side of the world, why is that the rhetoric? Because like we don't get college football here on TV, right? Like if anything's on TV, it's NFL. For example, last week we had the Giants game on TV. So I watched like the first half of it, and the Giants were doing their standard "we are totally shit," and then I turned it off at half time because I figured we'd lost anyway. And I had to come and do the Army List show. But like people always say they watch college football rather than NFL, and I don't really understand why. I assume it's cheaper though, right? Because NFL tickets are bonkers. It's more relatable to the average person. Fair enough. Maybe that makes sense. The NFL, I suppose, is a bit of a spectacle. Maybe that's why. I mean, I enjoy watching NFL, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a big sports person. Like, I love watching sports. I do hope the Giants do better this season, though. It's been pretty depressing, to be honest, to be a fan of the Giants now. They've just been shit for like a decade. Like, absolutely shit. We've been in playoffs once or twice in a decade, and both times just like get beat straight away. Well, this music's a bit aggressive, isn't it? There we go. But yeah, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my list then with these new points changes, though. It's annoying. There's a couple of times I feel like I've got a really good list together and then points changes come in and just mess it up. But no, I do think the Sanguinary Guard are going to be much more deadly. So I think it's a worthwhile point change. I actually had a second edition copy of Blood Bowl, but I sold it just because I've got too many board games, man. And like, I sort of made this decision a while back where it was like, if I've had a game for like so many years, and I've never played it, I'll sell it. I did the same thing with like everything that was in my wardrobe actually a couple of years. Like I moved house like 5 years ago. And I had clothes in the cupboard that I'd never wore since I moved house. So I was like, hold on a minute. If we've been moved into this house for 5 years and I have never worn these clothes, why the fuck are they taking up space? Like, let me just get them on eBay and get rid of them, right? So yeah, I had Blood Bowl, but I sold it just because I don't know when the hell I was ever going to get to it. There was an old edition I had of Blood Bowl, like I think it was second edition. I mean, I played it way back in the day, like in the 90s or something. I think it's easy to get overzealous with. I suppose it's like why people have big piles of shame, right? Like quite often, a cool looking game will appear on Kickstarter, and you're like, "Oh, that game looks really cool." So I'm sure I've kickstarted like a couple of games and then like never got to them. And it's not because I didn't want to get to them; it's just the reality of being busy, I guess. They announced a new edition of Blood Bowl recently. I mean, they announce a new edition of all their games every couple of years, right? I just, I think, I think I'm just focusing on 40k at the moment. I did collect Star Wars Legion for a hot minute. I still have some models that I'd started painting, but like, I just don't think I'm focused. I'm just not focused on it. Just fully focused on 40k. You're a 40-player Blood Bowl league. Well, I mean, that does sound pretty cool, but I'm hoping that 11th edition will just switch things up a little bit, like give us a few more detachments, give us, because this edition has felt like we've only had like the 2 detachments, which has been a little bit annoying in my opinion. Good afternoon, Boris. How are you? Is anyone excited for the new Tron movie? Were we going to get new detachments with this data slate? Were we? I was kind of wondering if we were going to get Grotma stuff again. I mean, I think the Grotma stuff last year was actually pretty useful for shaking things up a bit, right? Excuse me. Frank says, I want to see the new Tron. I'm iffier than Jared Leto. Yeah, I want to see the new one, man. I really liked Legacy. I kind of wish they'd brought back the cast from the last one. But hey, what can you do, I guess? Disney movies are so hit or miss these days. It could be amazing, it could be anything but amazing, right? I guess we'll find out in like a month's time. I think that's when it's out, like a month. I've listened to like the title track by Nine Inch Nails. I think it could be cool. I really like Daft Punk though in Legacy as well. Like, oh, I can hear one of my kids up. I will be back in just one sec. Sorry about that. Probably nightmare time. Yeah, sadly, Daft Punk are no more, man. Sadly. Tron Legacy had a badass soundtrack. I really think it was great. I really hope that Nine Inch Nails have nailed it. Hope they've taken inspiration from Legacy. Have they announced any more information about the Henry Cavill? Yeah, no, I think I'm giving Tron the benefit of the doubt for the moment. I'm going to go in with an open mind and hope it's awesome. It might not be the movie I want. Like I feel like I wanted a sequel to Legacy because I really like Legacy, but Legacy was like a box office bomb, right? Like it did not do well. I mean, I think what I want is just the new Tron movie to do well. It doesn't necessarily need to be the story that I wanted it to be or the sequel I wanted it to be. I just wanted to do well so that we don't have to wait fucking 15 years for the next one, right? That's what I'm hoping. Because I mean, that's kind of what happened with Star Wars, right? They released like a bunch of movies, and a bunch of them were bad, and then because they released a bunch of bad ones, they well, I mean, it's been ages since we had a Star Wars movie, right? I can't even remember the last one, honestly. What was the last Star Wars movie in cinema? Was it the Skywalk? Like, was it Episode 9? I mean, it would make sense. That movie was kind of horrible, right? Nah, Solo wasn't the last one, man. I think it was Episode 9. Yeah, because I think they did Episode 7, then Rogue One, then Episode 8, which was kind of terrible, and then Solo, and that's why Solo did badly, because it came out after Episode 8, which honestly was also a terrible movie. And then 9, and then they haven't done anything since 9. Yeah, well, I mean, that's just the thing. If the box office fans don't, like, if people just don't go and see it, and it doesn't make the money, unfortunately, the whole world works on money these days. Capitalism, yay. Seven, 8, and 9 never happened. 7, 8, and 9 aren't real. They can't hurt you. Skeleton Crew's the last Star Wars media. Yeah, I was meaning movies though, right? Because they were doing like, I know that they've done TV shows, but movies are really Star Wars' bread and butter. I feel like. So yeah, I really hope the new Tron movie does well. Even if it's not the story we maybe all want, I just hope it does well so that like we don't have to wait forever to get the next Tron movie. I really liked don't know if you ever guys watched the cartoon, the Tron cartoon, that was really good as well. I think Elijah Wood was like the protagonist in it. You wouldn't maybe expect Elijah Wood to be a protagonist in Tron, but he did. I think he did a really good job of it. I really enjoyed that cartoon. The Mandalorian. Is The Mandalorian still an exciting IP? Is my question. Like, haven't they already told all those Mando stories? I don't know. I do sometimes worry that, like for me, Star Wars was just episode 4, 5, and 6, and like any content they release that's not 4, 5, and 6 is going to be bad. Well, do you know what? I really enjoyed Andor, though. Right? Like, I guess because Andor was set in like the rebellion or whatever. I don't know. I asked a few people. Some people really didn't like Andor. I thought it was great, man. Andor is definitely my favorite Disney Star Wars thing. Andor was just good. Yeah, I liked Andor a lot, man. I really like one of my favorite scenes in Andor. Spoiler if you haven't watched Andor, you should watch it. Was when Mon Mothma was doing that speech. I thought that was really good. It's kind of weird. There's like there's no action, there's no blasters, there's no lightsabers. I thought that bit was really good. Really enjoyed that bit. Yeah, imagine paying $4 billion for a franchise and then just putting out mediocre shit over and over and over with it. Like, I don't get it. $4 billion. I don't even know how many zeros that is. Is that 4 billion? Is 4 billion 400 million or is it 4,000 million? So a million has 6 zeros. 400 million has 8 zeros. So there's a billion 9 zeros. Like how many fucking zeros is a billion? Is that 4,000 million. So they paid George Lucas 4,000 million for the IP. They took his stories because he'd written scripts for 7, 8, and 9, right? They fucking threw them in the bin, and that's what they came up with. Like 4,000 million. Jesus Christ, man. I don't even know what George Lucas would do with that amount of money. Like what like what do you even do? Like you couldn't even spend it if you wanted to. I feel like you buy an island and live out your life. And buy a country with 4,000 billion, man. Not let alone an island. Disney torpedoed the sale of all the Star Wars with their toys and merchandise. Well, it is Disney. They do charge $30 for a set of ears, Mickey ears, right? I would like the opportunity to prove I could spend $4 billion. All right. How? I feel like I have pretty rich tastes, but I feel like I don't know. I think it would be impossible. I feel like you could have a commission painter work for you at full time every day, buying every army of Warhammer, and like you wouldn't even spend 1 million. We do play Warhammer. Yeah, I mean it's not that expensive, guys. Come on. Michael Jackson managed it. He died in debt. Yeah, I mean, Michael Jackson had his own theme park, though, man. Like, yeah, if you're going to build Disneyland in your garden, then that's probably going to be a pretty big expense, right? Especially when it's just for you and no one's coming to visit, right? I mean, I think oh yeah, there's a dog face here. That's random, isn't it? Is that what you're saying? You can see a face in the. I couldn't do that again if I tried, man. This was like how I drew engage on all fronts. Six games in a row. Every game at a tournament, engage on all fronts. Turn one. And it's like I have nothing that can engage on all fronts in turn one, and I drew it 5 games in a row at a tournament. I'm like, what are the odds when there's like 20 different missions to pick from that I draw engage on all fronts 5 games in a row? Like it must have been like 100,000 to 1. Hello Terrence, good evening. Hello John GW is making the first steps to making Sanguinary Guard feeling elite and scary. Hopefully they get a toughness bump next edition. I mean, I think if they keep their -1 to hit and wound, that would be pretty good. Maybe they need that in shooting as well, though. You could argue that they should have -1 to hit and wound in the shooting phase as well, right? Maybe that makes them feel pretty elite. What did you say there? What do you think of Redemptors going down in points? I saw that. I mean, they've been overcosted for forever. Still pretty expensive though, 195, right? Like, I think I looked at it, saw them at 195, and thought Vindicator tanks are still cheaper. Do I feel a Redemptor is better than a Vindicator tank? Probably not. Do you feel it's better than a Vindicator tank? Because if you don't feel it's better, then I feel like the points drop, even though they were nice, are somewhat irrelevant, right? Like, if we can just agree that Vindicator tanks are a better option, well, they are still 10 points cheaper. Like, what's a Redemptor doing for you that a Vindicator tank isn't doing for you? Like a little bit of melee? I mean, it's not that much melee. It's not that great AP in melee. It's not that great damage in melee. I don't knock it. I think it's a good change because I think Vindicators were overcosted and I wouldn't have run them before. But I do feel like I'm gonna justify it against a similar unit that's similar points, and the similar unit is gonna be the Vindicator tank, and I feel like it's still cheaper, and I think it's probably still more useful for what I need from my fire support. So a step in the right direction for the Redemptor. Does it make me take it? Probably not. Like, does it make you take it? The Redemptor was good with the -1 damage thing at the start of the edition when anti-tank wasn't so much of a thing. Yeah, I mean, there's so much anti-tank out there, and the toughness 10 probably means that, like, you're susceptible against strength 10 fire. -1 damage is okay. Is the shooting more viable than 2 Lancers? I'd probably say it's not. I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction for Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I'm probably still not taking one. Correct me if I'm wrong as well. Redemptor Dreadnoughts do not have the smoke keywords. So, like, if a Vindicator tank is getting shot, there's sometimes a situation where you can keep it alive with a smoke screen, right? Like a -1 to hit. Redemptors don't have smoke screen, I believe. And the thing about smoke as well, it lasts the whole phase. It's not like Armor of Contempt where it only lasts 1 activation. -1 to hit and get cover for 1 CP. It's pretty cheap. It's pretty good. No smoke on Redemptors. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction for Redemptors, but I think for me, I'm probably still not quite there with them. Maybe there's a play in another detachment. Like maybe Ironstorm Redemptors are going to be good again. I mean, I think they got nerfed because people were using Ironstorm and a bunch of the enhancements in Ironstorm. I don't think you can use all those enhancements anymore with them. So, like I said, I think it's good they came down. Whether or not it's going to change the fact that no one's playing them is another question, I guess. And yeah, for anyone wondering, we will be doing a video on Sanguinary Guard, the new weapons, the hitting on twos, the lance profile. That's my plan for this week. Normally release the tactics video on a Friday, so probably this Friday's video will be dedicated to the Sanguinary Guard update. An extra damage option would be good in the Sanguinary Guard, like the Exalted 8-bound treatment, the Slaughterbound. Strength 10, an extra damage if leading Exalted. Yeah, someone said earlier in chat, Pete, that like they think that like obviously Dante's a bit useless now because his rules don't really synergize anymore. Not that they ever massively did, I guess, but yeah, they don't help too much with the Sanguinary Guard. So someone in chat was like asking, like next edition, would we like to see something like sustained hits on Dante? You know, like if he's leading the Sanguinary Guard, could we get sustained hits? And I think that would be very cool. I think that's sort of what we should hope for, maybe. It definitely seems like the stock of like a regular jump pack captain has probably gone up quite a lot. Because I mean, those characters were already very good to attach to Sanguinary Guard, to give them the defense bonus and give them the strength 7, which is a pretty meaningful breakpoint, I feel like. So I think a generic, let's say a generic, but just a jump captain is a very good pick for a unit of Sanguinary Guard now. I mean, it was a good pick before, I just think it's very, very good now. Thinking I might just slap Blood Angel's contrast red over this guy's cloak. That might be a lazy but quick way to do that. Sometimes I like to be quick. Don't use contrast paint too often as well. We'll just give the... We'll probably just give the cloak a nice bit of a mixed hue to it, really. But yeah, it's nice to see the 2-up, say, the 2-up to hit on the Sanguinary Guard, because, like, they're supposed to be our elite unit. It didn't make a ton of sense that they were a 3-up to hit unit. Like, I feel like that would just happen because we came out somewhat early in the edition, right? Suppose you could argue that about Blade Guard as well, but at least Blade Guard had a way to reroll their 1s or something, you know? Sort of baked in type deal. At the moment, I do not own any Blade Guard vets, and I know they're great, but is there a unit that comes close to being a substitute? Probably Terminators with Power Fists are the closest, because they've got the same 2-up, or the same 4-up invuln and 3 wounds. But yeah, if you're playing Blood Angel, Sanguinary Guard are basically flying Blade Guard, right? I mean, a lot of people play Sanguinary Guard. If you buy the Combat Patrol, you get a bunch of Sanguinary Guard in that, right? I'm here for like 15 more minutes, guys. If you've got any last minute Blood Angels questions or anything like that, now is the time. And then I'm back tomorrow night at like 8 PM for the Army List show. So think we got a little bit of paint, a decent bit of painting done tonight. What's the second coats to do on these models still? What do you think of MSU Spears? I'm going to do a video on Spears this Friday, Terrence. I think Spears suddenly, after being completely irrelevant for a bunch of years, I guess, suddenly have probably some decent play. I think it's definitely worth doing a bit of a comparison, swords on spears. Man, those little chains on his book there, they are hard as fuck to focus on. Like, they are so small. My eyes are like, I can't focus on that. Big Whip, did we discuss the changes? Not really. This is the old Cotias. Yeah, I rebased him onto a 40 last week. Because I think I was playing him in the wrong size base, honestly. Well, I discussed the changes a little bit, but I mean, I haven't done any sort of in-depth analysis. That'll be coming on Friday. How's the world of BAC? I'm good, man, thanks. What's good with you, Falcon? Falcon? Sorry, Force. Half the show will be on what advice to, like, remove units. Yeah, I mean, I don't have those answers yet, but I mean, we'll do the show anyway, because we always do the show, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna slop, like, absolutely slop a coat of contrast red onto the back of Cotias' cloak and see what it looks like. Getting back into 40k after the summer is over. Yeah, some people take a break every summer. I hear you. Get outside, enjoy the weather. I think my list that I've got at the moment, I'm just going to make a small tweak to it and try and make it work for my current Angelic Inheritors list, because it has been winning a lot of games. So I don't want to change it too much if I can avoid it. I have no idea how this will really, what it'll look like when it will dry, but I'm just hoping that it'll give me some tones to work with and I can save some time. Gives them a super crimson coat. Cloak, excuse me. I'm just going to make sure I slop this on very thick everywhere. Alright, we'll see what that dries like. Maybe still have to do a little bit of highlighting for it. If they are able to upgrade Sanguinary Guard spears, they should be able to upgrade Terminator Chainfists, says Harry. Yeah, why is no one talking about that? They should have been able to upgrade those fucking Assault Terminators. Thunderhammers hitting on 4s. Get out of town, they're dog shit. They've been dog shit this whole edition. Like, why are they not getting updated? Good point, Harry. Why is no one talking about that? Well, you are, Harry, but no one's listening. God damn it, we should be listening to Harry, guys. Half the Marine data sheets need an update at this point. Yeah, alright, maybe that's why. Maybe they'll do better Marine Codex for 11th edition, right? Maybe. We can dream, we can hope. Yeah, I don't think anything will change with Assault Terminators. I kind of think they're just going to get changed next edition, honestly. I think if they were going to be changed this edition, it would happen. It would have happened already. I mean, this would have been the perfect time to change them when you're changing other elite units like Sanguinary Guard, right? There wouldn't have been a better time. Do we feel the recent balance status slate is a positive or negative? I think it's a positive. You don't? I think 20 more points on a unit of 6 Sanguinary Guard that are going to like hit. They're going to hit 20% more often in melee. And they're going to potentially wound as much as 20% more often as well. I mean, if you're hitting 20% more and you're wounding 20% more, that's just a lot more damage. I think it's a positive. I suppose it depends on how many Sanguinary Guards you had. If you had 9 and you had the 6 and a 3, then it's probably a pretty decent positive, I feel like. Maybe if you had the 3 squads of 3 and you're going up 45 points, that might be a little bit much. Because essentially 3-man Sanguinary Guard squads were penalised harder than 4-man, right? Or 6-man, excuse me. Yeah, everyone, we knew Sanguinary Guard were going up in points. Yeah, I mean, we probably knew they were going up in points, but we expected them to probably to go up in points with no improvement, right? So the fact that they have a significant improvement really offsets the fact that they've gone up in points, I feel like. Because they could have just gone up in points with no improvements. Well, I'll make a video about Sanguinary Guard for Friday. That's my plan. We'll look at the swords, we'll look at the spears a little bit. If there's anything that you're desperate to find out, like if there's a unit that you really want to see some maths on, like Sanguinary Guard versus this unit, leave a comment after the stream ends, which is going to end in like 2 minutes. But if you leave a comment, I'll do my best to see if I can't cover it in the video, I can maybe put something on in the Discord or something. So yeah, I think that'll have to do for tonight, guys. I'm gonna have to go. Thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Leave a like if you didn't do that already. Our Saturday night streams are actually getting like really popular for, I was going to say surprisingly, but maybe my streams are better quality now or something. I don't know. But we're getting like 50 people just coming, hanging out, watching and painting. So we're doing this most Saturday nights. Come join us. Get your painting table ready. I'm usually going live around 8ish for like 2 hours or change. We can chat. We can hang out. We can listen to some tunes. Guys, enjoy your evening. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you at 8 tomorrow to go over some army lists. And then this week I've got an Ultramarines video coming on Monday, and then I'll make the Sanguinary Guard video coming on Friday. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care. Good night. Have a good one. Peace.